Hey guys, and welcome to Jade Coloring. My name's Liz, and today we're going to start our color along in the Romantic Country it's a coloring book by Eriy, and this is, I think, the first book in the Romantic Country series. It's one of my most favorite books, and I have colored quite a few pages in this book, but I'm excited to start on a new one today with y'all. I'm going to take the cover off. Okay, and I've picked this page to work on for the color along. I got some pencils picked out, kind of the color that I'm going for the little tree house. And I'm using, I don't know if I said, the Prismacolor Premiers. I have just a little 2-inch paintbrush to clear away the debris from the pencils and my sharpener, and I think I'm good to go. But yeah, I'm super excited to start a color along for my channel. It's something I wanted to do for a while, but I haven't really got around to it, so I hope that I won't, mess up too bad while trying to do this, but yeah, and let's just get to coloring. Okay, I moved y'all in a little bit closer. I hope it's not too close. I just, disclaimer, this is a little bit of a learning process for me, so we'll see how it goes. But yeah, I think I'm going to start with this part of the house, the little tree house, and I'm going to start using Clay Rose PC 1017. I'm just going to go in and add a nice layer of this down to the entire tree house. Nothing too fancy, just getting that color down on paper. And then we'll go in here in a minute and do some shading. It's one of my favorite colors in the Prisma color set. But yeah, I was excited that this book won for the month of March. Thanks so much to everyone who helped me decide. I am terrible at picking out coloring books sometimes. It's just, I love them all so much, it's hard to choose. And, but Romantic Country is always definitely a favorite that I return to time and time again. And this one, I think, was the first Romantic Country book I got. And it would be so amazing to finish this entire book. Okay. I like that. And I'm going to go in with the darker color I wanted to use on this section of the treehouse, and that's Black Cherry. Now, I don't know what happened to this pencil, but I can't tell you what the number is, but it is Black Cherry. And I'm just going to take this along the edges of the treehouse to add a little bit of a darker purpley pink color to that Clay Rose. But yeah, I would be interested to know what you guys like more. Is it like a color along that's silent, or one where like I'm doing for this one, talking as I work on the page? Of course, I could always do both, because I kind of go back and forth when I'm watching color alongs between which one that I like to watch. They're both fun to watch. I'm not real picky, to be honest. I'm going to try to make swatch cards, I think. I got like this little flip book from the dollar store, and I thought it would be perfect to swatch all my Prismas on there and do a little swatch book that I can use to show the number of the pencil. So that y'all could follow along a little bit better. But I don't know, like I said, it's going to be a learning process. I'm still just taking the black cherry and adding it to the areas I want it to be darker. Around the door frame, and now down at the base of the treehouse by the tree. And I guess I'll shade a little bit more under the little railing that goes around the treehouse. But yeah, I've kind of planned out the colors I want to use, but sort of, kind of. You can always change the further along we get to being done with this page. I don't know how many parts it will take me to film. I'm working on this page, but we'll see. Hopefully not too many, but I don't want to make the videos super long. Okay, I'm going to go back in with my clay rose, PC 1017, and I'm just going to be bringing that color over that black cherry just to blend them together a little bit. I'm kind of using a little bit lighter pressure. I was hoping for a bit of a sunnier day, but it's a little bit cloudy out, a little overcast. Yeah, just continue to blend the black cherry and the clay rose. I think Mythic World came in second. So I think that for April, I'm going to try and do a color along in that book, which is perfect because I don't have any finished pages in that one. So that should be a lot of fun. Alright, I like that so far. I really always forget one thing before I sit down. Never fails. Looking for my blender pencil. I know. Is it in here? Oh man. It's a new one, so I haven't sharpened it. I also got this recently. It's like a finesse, a colored pencil blender pen, and it's got like that. Maybe we'll try it, and then like a little bit more of a finer point on the end. Just something I picked up randomly at the store. This will get Prisma White. I know I should have done this before I sat down, but that's okay. We got them now. Okay, so I'm just clearing that off a bit, and I'm going to go back in with Black Cherry. And just adding a little bit more of that. I want a little more of that darker color underneath the eaves of the roof. I'm trying not to go too fast. I also don't want, you know, this video to be the longest video on the planet. I really have to watch myself because I will blend for days, adding this or that. Most of the time when I'm coloring, though, not on camera, I'm usually watching TV, so it can be distracting and makes me a little bit slower. It's a little bit different when I give it my full attention. Add a little more there. Try not to get it too much on the flowers. And a little bit more pressure on the edges here. You know, I was trying to branch away from purple a little bit, but I think I ended up using purple. Well, obviously, but it's just the colors I reach for of late. Okay, we got that laid down. I'm gonna go back in once again with our clay rose and, oops, sorry, hit the table a little bit. And just add this with a little bit more pressure. I'm like starting at the edge where we've laid down the black cherry and working my way out toward the center. And I think when I get closer to the center, like in these areas in the middle and between everything, I am going to just lightly blend those. And to blend the colors, you can just use the clay rose to finish blending them out. You can use your colorless blender, or the Prisma white I like to do sometimes when blending. Focusing on the top here. And around the door frame. Under the flower box or the window. Okay. Hopefully it doesn't look too messy. Oops, hit the light. Sorry, guys. Okay, I think we'll try the white Prismacolor to blend it. I'm gonna sharpen it real quick. Well, that didn't work. I'm just going to start to blend out these colors. I'm not really using a lot of pressure when doing this. And I'm kind of going in an opposite direction a little bit. Kind of where I was working up and down, I'm kind of going from left to right. Oh no. Yeah, this Prisma that I got, I get them open stock sometime, and for some reason this one is just giving me a lot of trouble. The lead is kind of falling out, and I thought it looked okay in the barrel, but it does not want to work with me. It's okay if you get a little bit of the color on the door frame area and stuff, because I plan on using a dark purple color, and that should cover up anything that you get on those parts of the roof or on the door frame. I was thinking about coloring the flowers pink. I'm terrible at picking out flower colors. But I can tend to be overcritical with my color choices that I pick sometimes. Okay, we have that part finished, and I think we're going to try to do the window little frame things, and I'm going to go in with Black Grape PC996. I'm just going to outline those lines there, keeping the center clear of anything. And just do the same to all of these little parts of the window. Might trace around the outer part too with the Black Grape. And then just very lightly taking that along the edge. I got a little bit too far over on that one, but that's okay. And this is Lavender PC1026, and that might be gray lavender, but we're getting into the name on some of these pencils, so, and I don't remember, but you can use white or any kind of colorless blender you have. I'm just not doing anything too fancy with those, the windows here. I'm just going over them with a lighter color to blend it out. And I'll do the same for these windows on the side. Outline our lines there. Sorry, running out of elbow room over there. I think outline the edge of the window. And then go over it a little bit. Then we'll take our gray lavender. Right, do this one now. And then go tracing around the edges here with the black grape. And of course there are some things that, you know, we might leave to the end to kind of touch up the edges. I guess I'll go around the door frame too. Sharpened it up a little bit. See, just gonna trace it, and I try to do it in sections. If I get a little too carried away, I will mess up one section or another. Okay, I'm just slightly adding that into there. And we'll do this part. This part of the door is quite a bit skinnier than that part. I don't know what color I'm gonna do the door either. Maybe I'll just do like a wood color. We already have a lot going on with the treehouse, so I want to keep it simple. I'm just slightly adding a touch of this color into that door frame part. And kind of underneath the railing here, might be a little bit more shadowed. Okay, now we're going to go in with grade lavender, PC1 or 1026. Yeah. I'm just going to blend it out, kind of focusing on the center of everything. Alright, we got that done. And then the last place I'm going to use this for now, as far as I know, is these little things that are hanging off of the roof. I'm going to trace them with the black grape. And then maybe go a little bit up on the top here. And just add a little bit of that color into the part of that, whatever this is, I don't know what you would call it, just the accent of the roof. I'm just going to take the gray lavender and blend that out. Okay, we've done the main portion of the treehouse, and so I think we're going to work on the roof part. I think the darkest color I'm going to be using is the chocolate by in the Prismacolors. I would tell you the number, but it's not on there anymore. And the lightest, if I can get a hold of these, or I mean the medium tone. I don't know, I tend to work in threes sometimes when I do stuff, and this is the Sandbar Brown, PC 1094. And then the color I'm going to use to blend them together is Peach Beige, PC 1085. And then we're going to put this for like the roof slats of the treehouse. And I might go ahead and do that same color for the door, but we'll see when we get done with the roof how it looks together, and you decide from there, I think. I moved you out a little bit for a minute. I had it a little too close, and I feel like it was looking a little bit shadowed with the phone that close. So bear with me, guys. This is definitely a learning process, and we'll hopefully by the end of this figure out a good way to do it. But yeah, I'm going to start with my chocolate color and start coloring in the roof. And I'm going to start outlining the shingles. Just kind of lightly tracing those out to kind of give us a better idea of how far we want to bring our color in. I think that looks good. So now I'm going to go in with the Sandbar Brown, PC 1094. I'm just going to really add a light shade of that. Just blending those two colors together, and then we'll go in with our Peach Beige, PC 1085, and we're just gonna blend them all out with that. And I like that, so I think we're just gonna keep on doing that. So we got the chocolate, and when we blend those out, I probably will go back in with the darker color to just kind of reinforce the lines and the shading that we've built up. I don't want to lose that after we shade with the lightest color. Okay, so that was the Sandbar Brown. And then we have our Peach Beige. I'm just going to blend those out and do the same for all of these shingles. Just outlining. I think I'll just work in sections here. If I just, sometimes if I just go and outline, this one isn't too bad to keep track of how you're doing the shape of the shingles, but some of them, when you get to like the really big like roofs in these books, it's a little bit hard to keep up with, for me at least. I'm just adding that chocolate color in there, and then we're going to go in with the Sandbar Brown. And basically adding that into the whole thing, but I'm leaving a little bit of the middle free of any color. And then we'll take our peach beige and just blend them together. And I'll probably go back in, like I said, and do some more shading after we have all these colors put down. Especially, like, you know, with going underneath the slats to kind of give it maybe like it's a 3D effect. Make it kind of stand out a little bit more. Okay, sandbar brown next. Then we have our peach beige. okay. You kind of get lost in a trance when you do something that's so repetitive. But I want to find a darker brown, and I think that this dark umber will do good for kind of getting our shape of the roof tiles back. So I'm going to sharpen this one up a little bit because I want to try to make the a little bit precise. I'm just going to go in and add the dark umber into those lines, and then also under the roof tiles. I know I've said lots of different names for these. I'm sorry. It's just the roof shingles, or, you know, tiles, whatever you want to call them. These things that we've been working on. I'm just kind of adding a little bit more shadow to that. Not a whole lot of pressure, but, you know, enough to where we can get that distinct separation between one row to the next. Or at least try to. Kind of going over the this line here that meets the other section of the treehouse, because it kind of looks a little bit covered up, and I want it to stand out a little bit more. Well, something like that. And then we're just going to keep shading. It doesn't have to be perfect. Go back up to the top. Okay. Then I might take some of the sandbar brown and just try to blend that out a little bit where we added that dark umber. I just want it to be a little bit more smooth. Of course, it's okay to have a little bit of it look like it's rough texture maybe, because it is roof shingles, so it doesn't hurt. And I'm just focusing on those areas that we shaded the dark umber. Or shaded with the dark umber. Mainly on the end of each of the shingles. Okay, so we did that with the sandbar brown, and now with the peach beige, I'm just gonna go in just a little bit. I want to add a few distinct highlights to the roof. Just where you feel that it needs it. Alright, I like that. I think it's looking super cute. I did get this black out, and I guess there's like a little chimney thing here. I'm gonna trace it with the black. Maybe I'll regret this, I don't know. But I'm gonna trace it with the black and then go in with like a warm gray to kind of finish the metally kind of look to it. And maybe that'll work out. So I'm gonna grab some warm grays. Let's see here. This is a French gray. I do want a French gray here in a minute when we do the door. So I feel like I can find every gray there is but what I need. Okay, here's a warm gray. Got 10% warm gray. And then we're gonna take 30% warm gray. And I'm gonna sharpen those up. Okay, so we laid down some black on that. We traced out the shape of the chimney flute thing here. I'm going to go in with the warm gray and start bringing it closer in. And blending that out a little bit. We're going to take our 10% warm gray and just go in the center and blend all those colors together. This is that 30% warm gray. Just sharpening up some of those lines. Alright, looking good. Okay, now the door. I've decided I will do a brown color, and I'm gonna lay out the darkest color I'm gonna be using is the sandbar brown. I just still want to kind of tie in the roof and the door, so I'm going to go along those lines here and add that sandbar brown. I don't know if I was trying to say soundbar. Anyway, that to the lines, and kind of go from there. Trying to see, I think it's hard to tell. I don't want to get on the rail there, but I'm going to go on the outside You know, this really does have like a greenish tint to it. I go all the way around the door with that. And under the window and the door, around it as well. And just shading that underneath the rail. Okay, I had to go hunt for my eraser, and I did get a little bit over the lines here on the railing, which I don't know why I care, because the railing more than likely is going to be brown anyway. But so this is the sandbar brown. I even ate lunch before I sat down to film this, and I still am mixing up the names of the pencils, or making my own names for the pencils, really is what I was doing, because, you know. This is the 50% French gray, and I'm just going to just make like little flicks. Nothing, you know, too precise. Just as long as I don't make a mess, you know. And add those into the mix there. And I just kind of wanted the door to look a little bit weathered. Thought that would be fun. Gonna add a little bit more pressure on those, the like in between the slats of the door boards and on the edge of the door. Okay, and then we're gonna take our sandbar brown and just add that color back in there a little bit. I don't want it to get lost. I still want that to kind of show up. Just kind of scribble it in there. Okay, so we're gonna take our 10% French gray, PC 1068. I'm just gonna start blending all that together and hope for the best. I think it's looking pretty cool. Okay, a little bit more. I like that, it's kind of subtle. Gonna take the 50% French gray and just kind of bring back a little more definition in some areas that I want there to be a little bit darker color. Alright, I like that. It's looking cute. Let's see now. What are we gonna do next? I don't know if anyone else feels this way, but I never know what to do with the actual window part. If it's nighttime, you can do like a nice like glow for like the lights on the inside. And I don't know, I couldn't decide if this is a nighttime scene. Of course, it can be anything you want it to be. I want it to be daytime, so I'm going to go in with this light blue and just lightly add this to the windows. This is the light cerulean blue, PC904. And I'm just going to add it to the edges of the window panes. But yeah, something I need to work on is I just don't know what to do with the windows. I've seen lots of different, techniques people use, and they're all really great. I just don't think I'm that great at it. But yeah, let's put that in there. Maybe I'll put a defined line, kind of on an angle in the middle of that. I'm going to do the same for this window. I know this has already been forever, and all we've been working on is the treehouse, but it is the funnest part of the whole page, so I like to take my time. Okay, we got my Prisma white. I'm just going to go over that blue, the light cerulean blue. Oh, for a second I was like, did I press record? If y'all made it this far, that's pretty cool. Because I've probably been a little all over the place. It would have been terrible if I didn't press record. I would have been so upset. Alright. Like that. Maybe we'll make the doorknob here black. Okay, so the flowers. I think I'm just gonna go with regular old pink. Maybe we'll spice it up a little. Oh man, I'm just doing terrible with sharpening today, you guys. Okay, let me sharpen this. Okay, so maybe we'll add a little bit of carmine red to the flowers in the center. Maybe it'll work. They're very little flowers, and I might use that to separate that flower from our tree house a little bit. And we're going to go in with pink. Add that to the flower. It really isn't, I mean, I don't really know. I think that would be fine for the flowers. Just to add a little color to them. We'll go back in, maybe shape them back out with our carmine red. And I might go in the center, add a little bit of this pumpkin orange. It may not do anything, but I did it, so. Okay, I do want to do the railing that goes along here. I got dark umber, and we're just going to start tracing out that line of the railing. And kind of bringing it in toward the center. I'm just gonna lightly kind of go toward the back of the pencil to add just the tiniest of pressure to the center of these rails, pieces of wood here. Okay, and so that's the darkest shade I'll be using, and then we'll go in with I think chocolate. I'm just gonna go over the whole thing with that. Pretty lightly. And then I was thinking we'll go in with my tiny ginger root, PC 1084, and just shade those colors. Well, blend those colors together. I'm liking that. I think it looks good. And then if you feel like it's a little too much ginger root, you go back in with your chocolate or your dark umber, and you know, until you get that color you're looking for. Okay, so moving on to this part of the rail. It looks like it, I'm not really sure. Does it go out? Okay, that's probably part of the tree, but this looks like it is part of the railing here that's attached to the tree. I'm going over that line a couple times. I want that to be really dark. And getting that built up pretty good with our dark umber. Just gonna keep tracing these this out here, outlining it. Okay. Okay, so gotta make some room here. We're gonna go in and do this railing part. Try not to overline it too much. Okay, then we're going with our chocolate. I start at the darkest section and then just lightly add that in there. Okay, then our ginger root. Well, add that little stick there. Maybe do it a little bit lighter. Don't want it to blend too much into that door. I'm just kind of taking that over those two colors to finish blending it out. I'll go back in with the dark umber to kind of make that stand out from the door a little bit better. Okay. Might as well do the same color for the ladder. Maybe. Yeah, why not? Let's do that with the 3 colors we've been using. I like how it's working, so. But yeah, I think this first part of the color along's gone pretty good. I feel like, you know, no, it took me a while to do the tree house, but that's alright. It is one of the main points of the beautiful image that we have here. We got the chocolate. And our ginger root. And I'll just do the same to the ladder rungs. I'm just adding a little bit of that in there, and then we're going to go in with the chocolate and just do the same thing that we've been doing for these pieces of wood. Okay. Ginger root. Our dark umber. Okay, I think that's where I'll probably stop for today. This will probably be part 1, where we work on the tree house and these little bits here with the ladder and the railing. But yeah, I think it's looking super cute. I'm having a lot of fun coloring this. I am excited to move on to the rest of the page and to see the finished page. But thank you all so much if you made it to the end of this video. I know I probably took up like a lot of time doing this one thing, but it's all part of the process, I guess, and it's how I do it. But yeah, thank you all so much for watching this color along. Until next video, bye.